You moved full-time here in May.
Yeah.
So what has your first year been like for you? Jeff Fitzer's year in review, like the Ozarks as a full-timer.
I don't regret it even a little bit. It's opened a lot of different doors. It's what I thought needed to happen for my business because it allowed me to meet more people and ingratiate myself into the community. People take you more serious when you're full-time, I think. I've told you this before, I really loathe going back to St. Louis. We do it to see family and such, but for the most part, I just want to be here. And it's like, well, there's nothing going on. That's the point. That's the beauty of it. A year in review, it must be a good sign when we get to do it on a dock in early January.
It's not bad.
There's just something about being on the water in the off season that just feels different.
This dock gets so unused in the off-season, it's pitiful.
As you always ask me, as a full-timer now here, I have to say it's as awesome as I thought it would be, and maybe better. So damn quiet.
But you spend less time on the water as a full-timer.
You do, but it's like, just like you, I get to go out and do property videos a lot. So I get to go visit all areas of the lake, and it just never gets old when you get to walk out on a deck or a dock and you just look around and every home's shut down. I was over on my rental today and it was just so peaceful and quiet. I was getting my Wi-Fi set up and I was like, I'm gonna work from here. Like, it's gonna become my office when it's not rented. It's just so nice.
And that's a draw like the Ozarks in the off-season for people back in the city. You can come down here, start a fire and enjoy the peace and quiet. Home delivery for groceries now.
That's my excuse to get out of the house is to go to the grocery store.
You moved full-time here
Technically May.
in May.
Yeah.
So what has your first year been like for you? Jeff Fitzer's year in review, like the Ozarks as a full-timer.
I don't regret it even a little bit. It's opened a lot of different doors. It's what I thought needed to happen for my business because it allowed me to meet more people and ingratiate myself into the community. People take you more serious when you're full-time, I think. I've told you this before, I really loathe going back to St. Louis. We do it to see family and such, but for the most part, I just want to be here. And it's like, well, there's nothing going on. That's the point. That's the beauty of it. It's so awesome.
Yeah, a little bit different than being back in the suburbs, huh?
A lot of it different. I'm looking forward to it because technically it's not even been a year. This is great, and we're just now getting into technically because December's a pretty busy month.
Yes,
and now we're getting into those months that just lull. I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
Every year it gets busier and busier, more year-round and more year-round.
Yeah.
We look forward to having a little bit of downtime and time to do goal setting for the year and review business plans and stuff like that. It just, every year it's busier. Now we're in the beginning of January.
Yep.
And it's still going to be a little bit busier, but the slow time will be coming.
Yeah, it is. And and as long as we continue to have these 6-degree days, man, I will just pull myself off the couch and go hit a few golf balls.
It's terrible.
Maybe even put the boat back in the water. We did it on Christmas Day, and you get days like this, it's hard not to just go for a spin. Why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what the lake's here for, to enjoy. With that, let's do a 2025 Lakefront real estate market and review. Now, you've been sitting sidelines to it. You've been in the middle of the Lake of the Ozarks. How do you think real estate went this year?
If I had to guess, I don't want to say this is from knowledge because I don't pay that much of attention other than you and I having conversations.
You're sitting right here next to me every month.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. My point is that's about as deep as I go. I don't dig myself in. I don't need to. I would say I feel like it stalled a little bit. I feel like homes sat a little bit longer. I feel like prices have maybe, I wouldn't say come back, but they haven't continued to have a torrid rise. I was able to buy a lakefront investment property on the Big Niagara for under $400,000. And so anybody who thinks that's not possible, it is, and it was. I did it just recently. I still think there's a ton of opportunity here, but as we discussed in the last video, I do think this market is unlike most others. So anything that you see on a national trend does not necessarily apply here because the people that are here just have more money.
And there's a good portion of people that are just wanting to come here to get away from the city. And that looks different for everybody. Somebody downsizing from their full-time home back in the city to coming here, they're not spending $2, $3, $4, or $5 million all the time. So there's a market here for everybody, really. And that's what the condo market serves. That's a really good entry point into Lake of the Ozarks to get a boat slip. I had a guy here just last week purchase a lakefront condo with $1 million view for under $150,000. Wow. And all he wanted was a 1-bedroom condo.
Wow, that cheap. That's amazing.
With a boat slip. Down HH.
Wow. And if you're not familiar, that's like the heart of everything, where everything's going on. Wow. That's amazing. That just goes to show you the opportunity is there. You know this, I know this. I think this market is going to continue to grow exponentially as a tourist destination. I think we've barely scratched the surface. I think the things that are coming are going to really explode this place. And the secret that us Midwesterners have known about, which I think this place has been fairly little known outside of Missouri, Illinois, Kansas, Iowa, Oklahoma, Arkansas, that footprint is growing. And I think that's only going to continue to grow because there is no other lake like it. Whether you love or hate it, there's no other lake like it. So it creates an opportunity that you can't get on any other lake.
Yeah, I think we're really in an upward trajectory, and I've said this multiple times on the channel, with the development that's going on here. So for the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be growing.
Before you get into the data, do you think that presents a lucrative opportunity for investors, knowing that the opportunity is only going to continue to get more and more ripe as more people come to vacation here?
Well, when you see big money coming into a market, and you're talking Bass Pro, what they're doing with Oasis,
The Marriott, Hilton, yeah.
I mean, when you see big money flowing into a market, that's a lot better than seeing them exit a market.
Yeah.
With that big money coming in, I think this is definitely an investor opportunity.
Yeah, Bass Pro's a great one too, because Johnny Morris, if anybody knows anything about his business, everything he touches turns to gold. I think the most important thing to understand about Johnny Morris is he's been sitting an hour and a half away, less than really.
Hour and a half to Springfield, to the
Yes.
granddaddy of all stores.
Arguably a competitor lake in Missouri, intentionally has never come here. All of a sudden, old Johnny's knocking on the neighbor's door saying, I want to play.
Man, they have amazing outfit there, Big Cedar Lodge. I don't know if you've had a chance to go there yet.
Not to stay, but we've been to some of the facilities, yeah.
It is wild.
It is cool. I mean, Branson's a cool place.
I mean, the biggest thing that's happened to golf in the past, I don't know how long, the YouTube Internet Invitational that happened down there at his golf courses.
Barstool Sports, if you're not familiar, it was.
Barstool Sports and Bob Does Sports that put that on, and that was the golf courses that he has down there, all in one little head position is wild.
I think as someone who's considered buying here for a second home, someone who's considering buying here as an investor, I just think you need to get off the couch.
Somebody looking to get out of New York City?
Or Florida, because of A, cost, B, hurricane and all the things.
Florida's getting a big influx. I think their biggest headwind, which is never going to go away, is insurance costs due to hurricanes and actual hurricanes hitting.
Yeah, the cost to own in Florida is just going to be outrageous.
The HOAs that they're getting there for their condos to meet engineering requirements, to meet insurance requirements, there's some tough stories that people have had to digest for HOA fees to bring those condo complexes from that Surfside condominium project that fell down. There's big ramifications.
Yeah, great thing to bring up, because obviously the ocean is something I think everybody longs to be near. And I think one of the things about the Lake of the Ozarks that not many bodies of water have, other than like the Great Lakes, and this is nowhere near the size of a Great Lake, you get that freedom to go in any size speedboat like you get on the ocean without the chop of the ocean. Some would argue the chop's just as bad. And I think that's the appeal to this lake. It's also what people hate about it, but it's definitely the appeal, because you can bring any toy of any size, of any speed, and it's welcome here.
Like the run what you brung poker runs that they do.
I'm excited for that stuff this year too.
Yeah, you're in the thick of all that now.
Well, yeah, I'm excited for it.
Awesome. Well, let's get into the actual real estate market review now that we've determined that everybody is bullish Lake of the Ozarks.
Everyone, you mean you and I?
You and I. So new listings for lakefront homes was up 14% versus 2024. Our inventory was up. Sales were up 8% from 2024 with 679 lakefront homes sold. Total volume was up 13% over 2024 at $544 million traded for lakefront homes. Median sale price flat from last year on the number.
Okay.
$625,000 was your median sale price for a lakefront home.
All right, I like my prediction so far.
Listed sale price ratio ended the year at 95.7%, down from 96.8%. Listed sale price ratio, say you had a house at $100,000 and the listed sale price ratio is 95.7. If you were listed at 100, market average, you were going to sell it at $95,700. So we were down from 96.8 last year. Days on market, 50 days, up from last year's 43 days. Still 59% faster than 2019. That was a big number back then. Lakefront condos, new listings were up 16%. Sales were down 14% at 515 sales. Still, last year was the worst year since 2014. This year, still the worst year since 2014 and down from last year. Median sale price, $330,000, down just 1.5% from last year. Listed sale price ratio at 96.7%, down from last year's 97.8%. 3.8%. Days on market went from 50 days last year, up 41% to 71 days this year. Luxury at Lake of the Ozarks, 35 properties sold over $2 million, 46% more than 2024. In the record home sale, any idea on that?
It was this past year, 25?
Well, for the year.
Okay.
Our highest home sale
For
for 2025.
I don't feel like there was anything super like historic, so I'm going to go ahead and say between 8.5 and 10 million.
8.5 million. That was the Stable Ridge Ranch out on Y Road. It had 263 acres, a few different buildings, 18 bedrooms total, 14,000 square feet, and 226 feet of lakefront. It was quite a property. Record condo sale, 4.1 million. Want to guess where that was at?
That had to be
this?
in.
You know this?
Yeah, and the name is escaping me. I've done a video there. There was a $5 million listing there. Is that the one we're talking about?
Cypress at the Lake.
Cypress, yeah.
The penthouse on the main channel point.
So it was one of those penthouses. 4.1.
And the top 3 selling condos were at Cypress this year.
They're in a league of their own.
Yeah, that is a really cool building.
It is. Yep.
The amenities they have there.
It's a great location. Covered parking garage.
Exercise room. That penthouse had 4 bedrooms, 6,100 square feet for a condo.
Yeah, and just views for days.
They have some impressive HOAs for that place.
Impressive. And you don't mean that in a positive way.
So this year was a tale of two halves. First half of the year was sluggish with just 279 home sales. Then the second half, 400 home sales. 121 more transactions in the back half of the year than the front half. That's not typical. Typically, our first half of the year, that spring selling season
Is
really
that
pops
is
off.
that because people were gun shy and they weren't sure what the market was going to do coming out of 24?
Yep, interest rates are supposed to be going down, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll wait and see.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that much lately, have we?
So we ended the year, I'd seen 6 1/8 on some of the reports that came out. I know with some local lenders that could vary, you could get under that.
Yeah,
above
do
that.
buy downs and stuff.
Yeah, the beginning of 2025, we were shooting, everything I had read said look for 6 1/3 by the end of the year, but it's going to be a rocky road to get there.
You know, it's interesting as a buyer and someone who's 24 years in the industry, I didn't even care. It was like the rate just is what it is. I didn't care. I was buying not because of interest rate. And I really think as a buyer, you should look at it that way. If you're so caught up in interest rate that it's impacting your ability or your choice to move forward, you probably shouldn't be buying.
I agree with that. But when you have a sharp difference in rates that we had seen that started taking off
Yeah.
in 2022,
Yes.
that's where everybody kind of pumps the brakes
Sure.
and says, hold on. Now, a lot of people that pumped the brakes said, oh, wow, when we went from
Yeah.
3 to 3.5 and I was hesitant at 4.5, I should have pulled the trigger.
Yeah. And then prices continue to increase and then everybody's kicking themselves for not buying when they should have because prices haven't gotten any better.
The second half of 2025 proved buyers never left. They were just waiting for the right moment, just like how we were talking about.
Interesting.
Condos had the same story. The first half struggled at 231 sales. Second half recovered, 284 sales. October alone saw a 46% surge with 60 sales versus 41 last year. Even in condos, we saw a tick in the back half of the year, which is why I think 2026 is going to be set up. And a little bit of the reason why on that, and if you want a further dive and some more charts on this, you want to get onto our newsletter that we sent out because I did a little bit of a deep dive to the Fed connection. Monetary policy, what did that look like previously? When the explosion happened, all the buying was going on back in 2021. The Fed created $6.2 trillion in new money in 2 years through quantitative easing and stimulus programs. That was 40% of all dollars in existence was created in those first 2 years through stimulus, the PPP, reducing rates, their amount of treasury buying. Our market exploded to 1,213 home sales in 2020. 2025, we were at 679.
Wow.
So that was almost twice as many home transactions. It's because people were flush with cash.
Yeah.
Median prices jumped 59% from 2019 to 2021. The hangover came in at 2022 and 2023. Fed raised rates from 0 to 5.5%, and that was the fastest in 40 years that they had done that. Mortgage rates hit 7% plus. The money supply actually contracted for the first time in modern history. And I talk about this in my newsletter into just kind of the amount of cash sloshing around out the economy, how much money people had in their checking account, savings account, their purchasing power. Home sales took a big dip in 2023, down to 610 sales, the lowest since 2011, from just that mortgage rate bump and then sucking some of the cash out of the marketplace. So now people all of a sudden weren't rich. You had inflation skyrocketed from all of a sudden people having flush with cash. So it was supply and demand. We have all this cash, let's go buy something. Well, if we're gonna buy something, let's go buy a house. And that's when the real estate market nationwide took off through the roof. So if you had that many people interested in one specific product, that product's value is going to go up. So 2024, 2025, we would call that kind of the recovery. The money supply stabilized at 22.3 trillion in the marketplace. Rates easing towards 6.5, a little bit under that. No more artificial stimulus through PPP and other programs. And we saw the results of that in the back half of 2025 with the second half surge. Getting into predictions, last year I predicted a 15 to 20% gain in the number of transactions.
And?
We had 8%.
Okay.
So I wasn't too far off on homes.
Not terrible. You're optimistic, rightfully so.
I was very, very optimistic.
As you should be.
This year, I'm going to go with 5 to 10% growth, which would put us in the camp of 710 to 745 sales for lakefront homes.
Between 5 and 10, what's the number? Let's back you into a corner, pick a number, and let's see how close you are.
Let's go with 725 sales.
Hey, buddy, write that down. You got that? 725. Okay.
I will
See how he does.
rewatch this video next year at this time to see how.
And you know what? We might even have a casino by then, so then we'll decide if he and I are going to shoot this video at the casino.
You think they can get it built that fast?
Gosh, that kind of money.
You throw some money at it, you can do anything you want.
That's right. Yeah.
This is my wife's dad used to say, you can put a moon roof in anything.
Yeah, touche.
Inventory is down this back half. We've been seeing a reduction in price reductions. Luxury market momentum is still strong, and with stable monetary environment growing just a little bit at more of a normal pace, I think that we're set to see a solid growth, but not the rocket ship that I hope that we never ever see again, because that was completely manufactured. Condos, I'm going to go with 1 to 5%. So it'd be 520 to 540 sales. So if you want to pin me on a number, pin me on 530.
Okay.
This past year, we actually declined.
Kind of expected, I would say.
Down 4%.
What'd you predict?
I had predicted a 5% to 10% gain.
Optimism. I love it.
I was way off.
I mean,
on
if
that.
I'm going to hire a real estate agent, I want an optimistic person. So, you know, you win in that category.
Yeah, it's complete crystal ball stuff.
Yes, but I definitely want some optimism.
The fourth quarter really proved that there's still appetite for condos out there. People aren't walking away from condos as a vehicle to get to the Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the people that purchased in the beginning of COVID or pre-COVID and then HOAs went up, they've gotten to the part now where it was like, hey, when I bought my condo, the value's gone up, but the HOAs have gone up so much, I'm ready to step out of this.
Yeah.
You have people, just like how you weren't worried about your rate, people are still cognizant about HOAs, but it's that new level of normalness. Like, okay, so if HOA fees can flatten out from here and not go up as high as what they have, and some have been coming down with their insurance policies, that will really free up the condo market. It's really going to depend on, in my mind, how many condos come to market in the springtime. If there is a big flood of condo listings and we shoot back up to 12 months of supply for condos, it's going to continue to depress condo pricing and just people being a little bit gun shy to step into a condo. Hopefully 2025 was the bottom. We saw that in some of the overall pricing on a lakefront condo. That median sale price was down 1.5%. That didn't rein in near as much as what it could have with the inventory that we had out there. Bottom line, in 2025 proved the Lake of the Ozarks' fundamental strength. After a weak first half, that 121 transaction surge in the second half showed demand never disappeared. Buyers were just waiting. We're entering 2026 with tightening inventory, fewer price reductions, building momentum in a healthy monetary environment, no artificial stimulus, no bubble risk, just real sustainable demand. When you're thinking about buying or selling in 2026, I'd love to be able to do a consultation with you, go a little bit deeper in some of the stuff that I don't go over on here of what I do in my numbers, because it would be way too boring to do it all on video. But the people that like that are my kind of people. We have some interesting conversations. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines, maybe you were in the market before and you didn't have success, I'd be happy to have a no obligation conversation with you just to see what that looks like to sell your property, or if you haven't had luck in purchasing the property, whether or not you couldn't find what you were looking for, or just you weren't communicated thoroughly through the process so you could understand it. Jesse at lakeexporealestate.com. My cell phone's 573-260-0868. I'd be happy to help you walk through how we do things here.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Let's
man.
go 2026. Let's make it a big year.
I'm telling you, the future looks bright.
Go ahead now.
And to all you viewers out there that reached out to me from last month's video, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Everybody had texted me, watched it. I got a lot of texts from that. We had some comments. A lot of my clients reached out to me, and it really means a lot that you guys watch the videos and actually enjoy them. 2026.